because it's who we are, and it's a pleasure to be able to be a part of that. So thank you so much for the opportunity that is coming this way that will be big for today and for years and decades to come. What a great opportunity today. It is my pleasure to introduce to you the governor of the great state of Michigan, Governor Whitmer.
Well, obviously I want to thank Dr. Pink and all of you and the team that came together to make this day happen. Goshen, Our Next Energy, I got to thank them as well for believing in Michigan, seeing what we have to offer, and jumping in with us. The leaders of our legislature on both sides of the aisle and both chambers. This was a team effort. And Quentin Messer, who leads our Michigan Economic Development Corporation, for his passion, his energy. He is tireless, and he is one of the best ambassadors on behalf of the state of Michigan we could ever ask for. So, hello everyone. Today, just like any other day, it's of course a great day to be in Michigan. But right now, we are seeing real momentum in our state. In the last year, we have secured manufacturing projects building on our leadership on mobility, electrification, chips, and life sciences. We're proving that Michigan's manufacturing industry is the best in the world. Our hardworking people and innovative businesses never stop adapting and growing. And to recognize their efforts, I'm soon going to be signing a proclamation acknowledging this as Michigan Manufacturing Week. And I gotta say, our timing is impeccable because today we're coming together to celebrate more investments in our manufacturing future. Today, we took action to secure nearly $4 billion of investments, creating 4,607 good-paying jobs in Michigan. You may have heard of the $2.36 billion investment that we landed from Goshen, a world-leading manufacturer of electric vehicle batteries, creating 2,350 jobs in Big Rapids. But wait, there's more. We also secured a $1.6 billion investment, creating 2,112 jobs from Our Next Energy, a Novi-based company building new battery gigafactory in Van Buren Township in Wayne County. And we made an infrastructure investment in Ottawa and Muskegon counties that will allow Fairline to add 2 new manufacturing lines at their Coopersville plant and support regional agriculture business, including Continental Dairy, DeVries Meats, Swanson Pickle, and Applegate, creating another 145 jobs. So we brought these projects over the finish line thanks to the hardworking team of MEDC, our local partners like Ferris State, The Right Place, Lakeshore Advantage, and the bipartisan economic development legislation that I signed last December. It really was a team Michigan effort. Since I've taken office, we've announced 30,690 auto jobs, proving that we will work with anyone and compete with everyone to grow our economy. Now, I want to talk briefly about these 2 projects. The Goshen project in Big Rapids is the single biggest economic development project in northern Michigan in Michigan history. Take that in. This is a competitive project with a lot of different states in the mix. And we're proud that Michigan will be one of the company's first manufacturing presence in North America. And the community is celebrating. I've heard stories from the local superintendent to the local barber to a man named Matt in Big Rapids who called this the biggest boom the city has seen in a generation. And we got a hell yeah from a woman named Sonia, another local. I agree with Matt and Sonia, and the barber, and the superintendent. The Our Next Energy project in Wayne County is a textbook example of the innovative spirit that already resides in Michigan. The company's goals are bold: to double the range of electric vehicles, use safe and more sustainable materials, and build a local supply chain. Now, those are priorities I know we all share. And both companies will bring supply chains and electric vehicle batteries home, ensuring that we continue to be the center of the auto industry for decades to come. And finally, the infrastructure improvements in Ottawa County. These will ensure that we have the capacity for agriculture business in the region to keep growing and creating jobs in Michigan, building on our strengths in that industry. Michiganders, we got to get more bold when we brag about this state. We have the second most diverse agriculture in the nation. And that is why this investment is so important. Michiganders are friendly, and our philosophy around economic development is the same as our philosophy around tailgates. Everyone's welcome, right? The 4,607 jobs being created are the kind you can raise a family on, with good pay and great benefits. They'll create opportunity for young Michiganders with Goshen, right in Ferris State's backyard, and our next energy growing in metropolitan Detroit area. These projects will also help us attract talent to Michigan, building on our ongoing efforts to improve quality of life by delivering on the kitchen table issues: clean water, great schools, safe roads, affordable health care, and at the core, economic opportunity and a path to prosperity for every person. To deliver on these priorities, I signed the recent bipartisan supplemental package yesterday, which secures today's projects and shores up additional investments for future opportunities. The supplemental will also establish the Michigan Achievement Scholarship. This is as big a deal, lowering the annual cost of higher education by up to $2,750 at community colleges, $4,000 at private universities, and $5,500 at public universities. And I'll be signing that piece as well very soon. Clearly, today's projects will support Michiganders who work at these companies. But what does all this cutting-edge innovation mean for drivers? Well, I must say, I just gave myself a great hypothetical question, so now I'll answer. Battery technology at Goshen and our next energy that we are working on is groundbreaking. It tackles range anxiety I know that people have when it comes to the transition from ICE to EVs. That is the single biggest concern that consumers have, and that's why they're hesitant about electric vehicles. The batteries that Goshen and our next energy are working on will deliver over 600 miles of range in a single charge. That's enough to drive from Big Rapids to Nashville, Detroit to DC, Lansing to Des Moines without stopping. You could go to Chicago, come home to Grand Rapids, realize you forgot your charger, drive back to Chicago and get your phone charger, and come back without charging. This is a big deal when it comes to alleviating that range anxiety and helping people make this transition. These developments are further proof that our economy is on the move. In the last year alone, we secured projects from GM, Ford, LG Energy Solution, and now Goshen and our next energy. That is just in the mobility space. We also secured investments in life sciences from Bacher and Pfizer, the FRIB at Michigan State's campus, as well as Parago. And we've won investments from SK Siltron, KLA, Hemlock Semiconductor, and Polymet Electronics, ensuring that we are doing semiconductor manufacturing right here in the state of Michigan. So as we think about the scale of what we have achieved, a state would be lucky to land 2 or 3 of these projects in a single year. But in Michigan, we play to win. And thanks to the bipartisanship, the hardworking people, and our innovative companies, that's exactly what we're doing. So best of all, we've got resources to continue this momentum. There are projects in the pipeline. We have resources from the CHIPS and Science Act and the Inflation Reduction Act all headed our way. And of course, we're Michiganders, and that in and of itself is our greatest strength. We're tough. We faced down a lot of challenges together. We worked smart. In 4 years, we've passed 4 balanced budgets. We have not raised taxes by a dime, and we paid down $14 billion of debt and amassed $1.6 billion in our rainy day fund. We are ready to compete with everyone to make sure that we are bringing supply chains home to North America and jobs right here in Michigan. So we are. We're practical, we're competitive, and we are strong. We stand for all with our values. And our message to anyone who's seeking opportunity is simple. Whether you're a company looking for your next expansion or you're a young, talented person looking for an opportunity, the answer is Michigan. We're going to work with everyone, and we're going to make sure we compete with everyone. And now I am thrilled. I'm going to sign this proclamation. No, I'm not going to sign the proclamation. I'm actually going to wait for that minute. I'm going to hand it over to my new best friend, Brent Pace. Thank you, Donna, for helping keep me on track. Brent, you're up. Thank you.
Thank you, Donna. Wow. What a great day to be in Grand Rapids, since we can't be in Big Rapids. but welcome everybody to West Michigan. And it's, a tough act to follow Dr. Pink with his energy and the governor with everything that she brings. But on behalf of my partner in crime, Kelly Wasik, and the entire White Place staff, it's my honor to stand in front of all of you today to celebrate this significant milestone that is 15 months in the making to bring Goshen to our region. To Governor Whitmer and our friends at the state of Michigan, and especially the MEDC, on behalf of the White Place and our board of directors, we thank you for your commitment to provide a comprehensive, attractive, and competitive incentive package to help make this opportunity a reality. To our friends in Big Rapids and Mecosta County, Greene and Big Rapids charter townships, I also extend our sincere appreciation for your partnership, commitment, and dedication to bring this transformational project to your region. And to so many others, many of whom of you are in the room, I say thank you for your investment of your time and your resources to champion this effort. Your support in helping us bring this opportunity to the Big Rapids area has not gone unnoticed. And I want to give a special thanks to Jeremy Webb, who's with the MEDC, but he can't be here today. As many of you know, Jeremy put in many tireless hours to help get this project across the line. So this is an especially proud moment for me, not only professionally, but personally. I was born in Big Rapids, and I grew up in Mecosta County. I always dreamed of an opportunity that would bring our region the opportunity to flourish with such an exciting project. But never would I imagine that a massive project of this size and scope would land in our backyard. To have an active role in landing Goshen in the Big Rapids area is extremely rewarding for me. So there's still lots to be done. But I think today we can all take pride in knowing that working together, we can do amazing things and help so many of our fellow Michiganders to be prosperous. Finally, to my friends at Goshen, Chuck, Aaron, and your multinational team that's sitting around the globe today, we thank you for sticking with us and giving Big Rapids the chance to show how our communities can work together to help the region thrive. We're excited to walk alongside Goshen in the years to come as we position our region to be the center of West Michigan's growing mobility and EV sector. And before I pass the mic, please join me in congratulating Chuck and his wife Tracy, as today they celebrate their marriage of 31 years. Heck of a way to celebrate. Now I'd like to introduce Garrett Rochow, President and CEO of CMS and Consumers Energy.
Thank you, Brent. I am extremely proud to be here today for this announcement alongside Governor Whitmer, Mecosta County, Representative Lazinski, Quentin Messer, the Right Place, Fair State University, Dr. Pink. It is an amazing day here in Michigan, and this is truly a once-in-a-generation opportunity we have here. Not only for Big Rapids, but for all of Michigan. And Consumers Energy is proud to help secure economic benefits for Big Rapids and beyond. It's together with partners. Quentin calls it Team Michigan, and it truly is Team Michigan. We're committed to bringing more success and prosperity for the state we love. We love it. At Consumers Energy, we're committed to helping Michigan compete. We heard about that from the governor. And win. Win new business, win jobs, good paying jobs, and the investments they create. As transformations occur in the automotive industry and other energy-intensive industries, much like this one, we're enabling the state and the manufacturing industry to adapt, grow, and thrive. We all really share a common goal, and that's to help new and expanding businesses ensure a solid start and a successful future here in Michigan. In 2021, Consumers Energy created, and the Michigan Public Service Commission approved our large economic development rate. That was the key to this project. It offered a competitive electric rate to attract new businesses like Goshen in Michigan. It also is designed to encourage existing businesses to expand their operations in our service territory. As a company, we're investing $1 billion annually statewide to upgrade the power grid, to improve reliability and resiliency throughout our state. This project would not be feasible without the infrastructure, and it ensures high reliability not only for Goshen, but for the Big Rapids area. Finally, we are thrilled, truly thrilled, to partner with Goshen on their commitment to have 100% renewable energy provided powering the facility. Yes, that's significant. Through our industry-leading clean energy plan, we plan to close our coal-fired plants by 2025, become carbon neutral by 2040, and meet 9% of the state's energy needs with clean energy sources such as wind and solar. Let me be clear. Commitments by Goshen just accelerate that plan. I want to thank you for your leadership when it comes to our planet and prosperity here in Michigan. Welcome, Goshen. Welcome to Michigan. The Consumers Energy Team is looking forward to serve you and ensure your success here in Michigan and Big Rapids. Thanks again. And I would like to turn it over to Paul Bullock, the Mecosta County Administrator. Paul.
Good afternoon. I've been asked to share with you what I believe this project would mean to Mecosta County. I would start with a question. What does the governor do? By the way, thank you for having me here. How can the addition of Goshen's Project Elephant into the very fabric of our community not result in an economic tide to raise the entire regional economy? It's not possible. We're talking a multinational, cutting-edge, high-tech corporation bringing in over 2,300 jobs, good jobs, to our community. I believe it will have a positive effect on our businesses, our school and healthcare systems, property values, and our biggest economic driver, Fair State University. Others can tell you the numbers involved. You've heard some of them. They are absolutely amazing. I would like to focus on the human aspect. When Goshen starts hiring, it's my expectation that they will be hiring from about at least three generations of our regional workforce. People ranging from my age to recent high school graduates. When they are close to fulfilling the final phase of their hiring, they'll be hiring people who are currently in our middle schools. These jobs will provide an incentive to help our community retain our youth and the vitality, inventiveness, and creativity that is so often evident in our young. That generation's access to this local opportunity will allow them to stay, grow, and enrich our community through their presence and participation. The words transformational and generational are often used for projects that are quite probably neither. Make no mistake, this project will be both transformational to our regional economy, and it's certainly going to be generational in its scope. Again, I thank Governor Whitmer, the MEDC, our Michigan legislators, the Right Place, and all our local partners who have helped make this possible today. And of course, Goshen. Thank you. So now our job is to continue working together to make an impact for the Mecosta County of today and tomorrow. Thank you. I'm sorry, Donna. I was going to walk away. And then your next speaker is Representative Donna Lisinski of Michigan's 52nd District. Nice to meet you.
You got it. Good, thank you. I'm House Democratic Leader Donna Lisinski. I'm really proud to be here and happy to be here. And I had given permission to just use my first name because sometimes folks hear Polish and their brain kind of tenses on that's how you're going to say that. Thank you. And again, I'm glad to be here today to celebrate this investment in Welcome Goshen to our state. This is the kind of lasting accomplishment that we can still make in Lansing, that we have been able to make over and over in the last 2 years with the leadership of Governor Whitmer and with our work on both sides of the dome and both sides of the aisle. It takes the leadership of a governor who is committed to economic growth, who is committed to strong jobs, continuing jobs, investment in families and communities. If we all remember, the inception of this was the SOAR Fund. That was a big debate in Lansing. Do we step forward? Do we set money aside for our future? Do we look at where we are today and take the time to envision tomorrow and to make that investment together? And to hang the sign on the front door of Michigan that says, we are open for business, we welcome you, and we would like to invest together with you in the future of our state. When we look at what we're doing today, I see my colleagues from the House today, from Detroit, and from Muskegon, who we were all proud to press that green button and say yes to grow the SOAR Fund, to ensure that we were able to invest in Goshen, to ensure that we were able to invest in our next energy, a Michigan-made company, to ensure that we're investing in a broad range of industries, in agriculture, our sector that is ready to grow through infrastructure. How often have we talked about infrastructure in the last 2 years? It's not just roads, it's water, it's sewer, it's electric grid, it's everything that we need to set the stage for growth in Michigan. And it is only possible when the legislature and the governor share that vision together. When we have leadership that is willing to move forward, to take the risks, to say when we're making a bet, we're going to bet on us. This has resulted, as we're hearing today, just today, in thousands of jobs and untold dollars for the people of Michigan. Each of these jobs represents stability for Michigan and Michigan's family, and working together to put families on a course of financial security and safety and home ownership, full pantries, and a comfortable way of life here in Michigan. You know, when we hear those words, made in Michigan, we often think of the automotive industry, our iconic Detroit assembly lines. We think of our automobiles. We know that what drives our economy now is going to be just like what's driving our vehicles, and it's changing. Here we're focused on doing the tremendous things that we need to do to keep Michigan in the driver's seat. And today we're doing just that by bringing Goshen to our state. With their electric vehicle battery production, with the investment in lithium iron phosphate batteries, I'm sure very soon that will roll off the tongues of all of us. Lithium iron phosphate batteries. Soon they will be powering our cars, they will be powering our economy, and they will be powering mortgage payments across our states as families have good, strong, stable, good-paying jobs that carry us into the future. We've won a lot here today in Michigan. That takes strategy. That takes putting ourselves on a competitive footing, and it's a vision we're proud to share with Governor Whitmer. And this is why the strategic application of our SOAR Fund will ensure that Michigan soars into the future. Once again, in our workforce, in our infrastructure, and in our economy of the future, we are together keeping Michigan strong and powering the future. Thank you and welcome. It is now my great pleasure to introduce our partner who takes so much credit for keeping us all moving forward every day and building the partnerships across our state and the nation, Clinton Messer, CEO of the Michigan Economic Development Corporation.
Thank you so much, Leader Lazinski. Let me say a couple of things. A lot of great things have been said. I want to be very brief because I know that we want to celebrate. First of all, give it up for Bulldog Nation. This is all right. Second, I want to say gratitude truly is the seed of the morning. And we really need to be grateful to people who took a risk. I take personal privilege. Dr. Bill Pink is on the NBC Executive Committee. He took a risk from a guy from New Orleans, Louisiana. Governor Whitmer took a risk. Legislators on both sides of the aisle took a risk when we said, let's think big and create a SOAR Fund. I'm grateful to my friend, Director McDowell, who took me under his wing, taught me about the second most diversified agricultural economy. You become great when you come together and are grateful. And that gratitude fosters some more. So I am incredibly grateful. Chuck, to your lovely wife, thank you. You went on a limb for us, and we really appreciate that. And also, I want to thank all my colleagues at MEDC, tremendous partners at the right place, Mecosta County, the other localities. But I also want to, in the end, I'm going to turn and look at that. Bet on Michigan. That is the only time you're going to be able to bet on something, and there's no disclaimer. Because when you bet on Michigan, you win. Thank you so very much. Let's make sure we focus on Goshen, our next energy, and also making sure that we keep agricultural dollars in state. Thank you so much.
All right, we're happy to open it up for a few questions, and they don't have to be directed to me. You can ask anyone who's up here if you'd like, but let's open it up. Sure.
Governor Whitmer, thanks for taking the question. I just wanted to ask, are there certain, like the jobs that the companies are bringing in, are there certain requirements for that number that they have to hit in order to receive the incentives from the state for both Goshen and our next energy?
You know, I am going to ask Quentin to come back up. With every opportunity like this, an investment that we make, there certainly is a mutual understanding and mutual responsibilities. But Director or CEO Messer can answer that a little bit more detail.
Thank you, Governor. Appreciate the question. Yes, first of all, I want to be very clear. Every dollar of critical industry fund is performance reimbursement. What does that mean? That means that for a dollar of Michigan taxpayers goes to the company, they have to perform. These are mutually agreed upon. We expect success, but we want to make sure that we mitigate any downside risk to the 10 million plus Michiganders who sacrifice and make sure that we have these resources. So the answer is yes. They're different and they're tailored for each of the two companies, but we expect success. These are global companies that I can't tell you some of the things they have on the drawing board. So we're going to come alongside and make sure that they're successful.
Governor, clearly the SOAR fund relies on legislative appropriations. Are there any plans for a more permanent funding mechanism that you'd like to see passed?
I think ultimately, that conversation needs to be had at this juncture. We've got the resources. In May of 2020, we were projecting a $3 billion deficit. We now have delivered a budget that makes historic investments in everything from education to infrastructure to public safety, and we've kept a lot of resources on the balance sheet. So we've been able to get a lot accomplished. I think we have to think long-term, though, and what is it going to take to make sure that Michigan has the tools to compete and win. It's not a conversation that needs to be figured out in this moment or even before the end of this year, but certainly something that I think for our longevity and our ability to ensure that we compete for years and decades to come, I do think that that's an important step for us to take as a state.
Governor, there's been a lot of talk in recent months about tax relief that the surplus could be used for. Yet, how do you explain to taxpayers that the money in that surplus first is going to business incentives before you can reach any kind of agreement on tax relief? How are you able to come to a consensus on this, but not on tax relief for the average taxpayer?
I'm still hopeful that we can find some individual tax relief for consumers and residents of Michigan. But the fact is that we've got an opportunity in front of us to land major investment. And the best thing we can do for the people of Michigan is make sure that our economy is humming, that there are good paying jobs, not any jobs that you can raise a family on and can get ahead doing. This is what this represents. So these investments also help consumers in Michigan. I remain committed to giving people some additional relief. I know that inflation hurts. I know that gas prices are up again. This is a pinch for consumers all across the state. I've been proposing inflation relief checks. We could do $500 and get them out fast. I haven't been able to find common ground with the legislature yet, but I am committed to doing either that and or earned income tax credit for people who are working but can't keep their head above the cost of living or retirement tax relief. These are the things that I've been trying to get done. I'm hopeful that at some point the legislature will come back to the table and want to have that conversation. But we can't not move forward on opportunities like this when we're talking about massive investments that change a community, that improve the quality of people's lives, and create good paying job opportunities for Michiganders.
But that likely won't come before the election?
I don't know that the legislature has session dates between now and the election, but if they do and they want to come back to town, I'm there.
Governor,
Yes.
as we try to make Michigan a hub for EV batteries and the future of electric cars, what's the plan for making electric cars more accessible to the average citizen, like prices of electric cars or charging stations in small towns?
So we're building out a charging network. We've got additional resources from the IIJA, the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act. I got it right. I've been practicing that one. It's the federal dollars. That's $10 billion that's going to be coming into the state of Michigan so that we can build out infrastructure. It's a great opportunity for us, but we're leading. We're working with our fellow Great Lakes state on the Great Lakes Charging Network. We've built out charging at some of our state parks. That is a unique partnership so people can enjoy the outdoors and also charge their vehicle. And I have proposed purchase relief for people that are purchasing electric vehicles. I've not gotten it through the legislature yet, but I think that would be an additional way to bring down that initial price for consumers so that they can participate in this transition. Because we know owning an EV in the long run is more affordable, but the price point sometimes is a little difficult. But I'll tell you, I was at the International Auto Show in Detroit a couple weeks ago. General Motors had a few really cool vehicles that were at a much lower price point. Ford as well. I think we're going to see a lot more opportunities for consumers to participate in electric vehicle ownership, and we're going to build out the infrastructure so they don't have that anxiety. And with batteries like Goshen and one, we're going to see longer range as well. So this transition is happening. It's happening fast, and Michigan is going to be leading it.
Governor, why wouldn't US 131 be one of the electrification corridors? It's one of the four main north and south corridors to get from Mackinac all the way down to Kalamazoo, and of course with Costa County being in the center of that, we should be considering.
I appreciate your thoughts on that. I hope and plan, and I'm doing the work to make sure that we are having every main artery across the state, north and south, east and west, have charging infrastructure along it. So as these resources continue to come into the state, we're moving fast to deploy them and build out this infrastructure, but certainly that is another artery that would be important to make sure we've got it there, and that's a priority of ours.
Thank you.
This may be a question for three people.
I
They
love
may have the
that
answer.
question. I'll leave the mic. Go ahead.
So, the fact that these three projects blew through nearly half of the SOAR funds that are available to MEDC, is there any plans from the legislature, yourself, and MEDC to go after more funds for larger projects?
Well, at this juncture, we've just made another big deposit into the SOAR. That is what's putting us in the ability to have a lot of the opportunities that are in front of us. It's exciting. As I said earlier, though, I think that we are going to have a long-term strategy about how do we maintain that ability to compete. So at this juncture, I think today's announcement is it's a massive investment that impacts Wayne County, that impacts Mecosta County, that impacts Ottawa County. As you can see, we are competing in all parts of the state. We're ensuring that every community has an opportunity, and I think we're going to have to continue this conversation. But I can tell you right now, there's an election coming up. You might have heard, and I don't know that the legislature is going to be in town much between now and the election, but I assume afterward there will be a lame duck session, and perhaps there will be conversation then, or various come the new year. You said you had a question for
Well, that was. I was wondering if somebody from the legislature or Quentin had a
anyone from
comment
the
on.
legislature want to?
I think the governor said it well.
I concur. There are no plans. The keeper of the calendar does not have calendar dates for us until the post-election.
Thank you.
I'm going to sign this Declaration of Manufacturing Week, and we'll take a few pictures, right?
gentlemen, please remain seated. I'm going to ask this group to kindly exit this way. Please remain seated. When I call your name, I'd like you to come up and stand behind the governor. Representative Sabo, Senator Brinks, Representative Tate, Senator Heisinger, Mr. Pickout, Ms. Lancaster, Mr. Sanders, Manager Gifford, Michelle Graham, Mayor Gunter, City Mayor Luce, Administrator Eisenbarth, okay, we're all here. Looking right here. Thank you. All right, good. All right, I'm going to ask you to exit that way, please, to your left. Please remain seated. When I call your name, I'd like you to come up and stand behind the governor. Mr. Aldering.